Hi, my name's Byron and welcome to this brief presentation about doTERRA's Empowered Success Launch Camp Training presentation. Today, I'm going to show you how Launch Day has helped us in our business, how to invite and set up for Launch Day, how the presentation that doTERRA has put together is the cake, and it's up to us to personalize with our own icing, give you some personalization ideas, and also just step through the Launch Camp presentation. So how Launch Day has helped us, it's really encouraged us to step up. We found ourselves as diamonds after doing Diamond Club for the second year in a row. And it was really an opportunity for us to step up, dive in, and start to educate people how to do what we were doing. And I do truly believe that teaching is often the best way to learn. It forces us to get out so we can teach others. And it really provided the people who came along to our launch day, the people in our business that we're duplicating our business with the tools, the skills necessary to be able to get out there and start sharing. And it really gave us a sense of who was actually going to be doing the things or who was just going to be talking and saying they were going to do things and not actually doing them, which we all know is part of the business. So how we set up for this event and how we invited, obviously you all know about Facebook and Eventbrite and personalized invites. Obviously face-to-face is best. You can also SMS and email, but just, building that excitement with your leaders, with your people that are sharing and building and saying, hey, look, you've really got to come along. If you haven't been to one of these training days, you've got to come along and bring the people that you're introducing to the opportunity that doTERRA presents, and also collaborating with others. So this can be inside of your community or it can be inside of the doTERRA community. So reaching out, collaborating, and connecting with others. You may say something to your team and they don't hear it, and perhaps they will pick it up if it's just presented in a different format from a different person in a different way. So it's no reflection on you. It's just how the human mind works. Have the empowered success materials on hand. You can pay for these. You can buy them from doTERRA, or you can print them out. It's purely up to you what you prefer. So how we set up our launch day, and you don't have to do this. This is just some ideas. Is we break it up into 3 parts so people can pick and choose what they like, just like a smorgasbord, and they can come along just to part 1. And I really encourage as many people as possible to come along to part 1, because this is just an introduction to doTERRA and what the doTERRA opportunity is and a little bit about doTERRA. We also teach people how they can earn their oils for free, either by hosting a workshop, referring people, just dipping their toes in the water, and then what the greater opportunity is too. Then part 2, we really dive deep into the launch, and this is the real meat in the sandwich, and this is where we get stuck into the presentation. We do the activities, and we also include the text blitz, which I'll include some scripts for. And then part 3, sometimes people don't hang around for this part because it's been a big day, but we get into the structuring. It is really important to structure from the beginning. To have people stay on for as long as possible is really important. And then just teaching people about some leadership skills as well in that last part 3 of the day. And sometimes people will just come along to part 3. Some people will come along to just part 2. Some people will come along to the whole thing, but I think it's really good to offer this day in parts that apply to the people that are coming along. So the presentation is the cake, and it's up to you to personalize with your own icing. I love this presentation. doTERRA has given me the opportunity to use this presentation just a little while ago for a launch day that I ran. And I love how they've put it together, focused around empowered success, and they have the greatest activities in there as well. So all the slides, you don't have to be scared of what to say. All the slides have scripting, so you can get some ideas on what to say. Obviously, not reading the slides word for word is ideal. Use the slides as a prompt and then expand from there. And then add your own icing. So here's some ideas that I would like to share with you guys that we put into our presentation just to build excitement and break up the day as well, make it a little bit of fun and lighthearted. So at the start, I do an introduction about perhaps why doTERRA is different, or from the old Share Success launch day presentation. It's up to you if you want to use these videos that are already made, or perhaps you want to make your own Australian version as well. There may be some more coming in the near future. I really feel that it's very imperative, it's very important that we include a healing hands or a co-impact sourcing video in that introduction, at part 1 of our launch day, just to get people emotionally connected with what the true essence and the values of what doTERRA as a company is all about. And then, of course, some funny and inspirational videos to break up the day. So sayings, up to you. Just choose what resonates with you, what you feel has been a major part of some beliefs or practices that you've had to include in your journey, because that's going to resonate best with the people that come along to your day. But I've just got 3 of my favorites there that you are free to take on and use in your training day too. So I also like to open up my back office. I like to be transparent, and I show people my monthly commission. And I just take a screen grab, and just so you've got pretty graphs in your presentation, but this is real, and people can actually see how your journey and how you've grown your business to Diamond and beyond. Focus on what your team needs. So this could be in your team as a whole, or it could be a part of your team. It could be a leg that you're working on that perhaps needs assistance with that follow-up with the wellness consults, or maybe just some courage and confidence, and you can include some activities that increase that courage and confidence. And obviously the tech split. So we're really getting that names list that's at the back of the build guide, the 30 names list, to work when we do this tech split. And you can make it a competition as well, and just have some little prizes included. So here's some scripts that I have. I've basically got this from Empowered Success or Share Success, and I've just made it a little bit more Australian in its language. Feel free to take a screenshot, copy these scripts, and they're for 3 activities which are very important in this business. Host a class, come to a class, try a sample, right? So get your screenshot and we'll move on. So this is the launch camp presentation, and I'm going to fly through this the best that I can, and we're going to start with build. And I'm going to go a little bit deeper into build than the other part of the presentation, because I feel this is the most important component of the launch day training. And I just absolutely love the build guide. It builds excitement, right? So we want to anchor our community, our commitment. Tell people a little bit about the doTERRA difference, the growth curve, how their CPG, the retention rate, how they're now, they're no longer just an essential oil company, they're a humanitarian company doing amazing things. They're 100% debt-free, and their executives, their founders, second to none. Absolutely amazing and inspiring people, an absolute pleasure to be part of. Now, page 8 and page 9, I constantly refer to this when I'm talking to my team about getting a gauge to where people are at, because this is speaking people's language. If we're saying, oh, do you want to be a silver? Do you want to be a premier? Do you want to be a gold? That doesn't really mean much to them. But if we can ask them, what would make the biggest impact in your life? And it's split up into 3 categories here. And then we can also link that through to what's required to be able to make that impact in their lives. So this is the first activity that we do on the training day. And we ask people to tick the boxes that most applies to them and what they want to create in their doTERRA business. And then we look at what level of success is required for them to achieve their goals. So are they just wanting to pay for their product? And that's completely fine. Remember, this business is built on sharing. Do they maybe want to supplement their income? Cool. Well, this is how many hours that you need to dedicate to it. Maybe you want to replace your income and there's a little bit more effort involved, and this is what you need to do. So really getting a realistic, applicable idea of what they need to do to achieve what they want out of sharing or building the doTERRA business. So straight away, this presentation refers to pipes a lot. And I believe that this is very important because we're constantly just coming back to this pipes framework. It's always a really good reminder. Sometimes we think, oh, pipes again. But really, this does have everything in a nutshell that the business is all about. Maybe you need to get back to IPing, which I'm constantly reminding myself to, you got to walk the walk to talk the talk. So you're invite, presenting, and enrolling. And then the 3 simple steps that it takes to build a doTERRA business. I love the names list. I break it up into 3 parts of 10, where I say people, write down 10 names of people that are obliged to listen to you, close family and friends, people that that they have to listen to what you have to say. They're going to give you feedback. And then 10 people that you would be open to natural solutions, that you're going to get a positive result. And there's a reason why we do this with people that are first starting out, because we want them to get positive results. We don't want them to feel disheartened straight away. So we want them to target some people that are going to listen to them. They're obliged or they're open. And then the third set of 10 is for people that they really want to partner with, people they want to work closely with long term. So that's how I break up the 30 names list. And we're going to use that when we get to the text blitz section as well. And then we've got the 3 simple steps as well on page 10 of the build guide, where we can tick off the simple activities in the launch guide and also come up with a goal of the 30, 60 or 90 day target of reaching elite, and setting a date, setting a time and committing to that, and getting people to commit to that on the day is really important. One of the activities that we do. We want people to feel that they can do this and they have these resources at their fingertips. We want to make it simple. So don't overcomplicate it. Stick with the framework that doTERRA has put together, Empowered Success. I really love Empowered Success. Business is always changing the way we're learning and teaching. But I really feel that doTERRA has just hit the nail on the head with Empowered Success. It's got everything that we need. We want to show people where we can get these resources. Send them to the website. It's all there. This is where you download them. This is where you can get access to them. And it extends beyond live, share, build, launch. You've got train, lead, multiply, and you've also got the Healthy Can Be Simple introductory leaflet as well, which is coming soon. Hand them out, print them out, buy them, share them, use them. Seriously, they have all the answers in these guides. It's all there. It's all we need to be able to create and duplicate this business. All the guides have a job title, and they'll come up through the presentation as I skip through now. So once again, we see the pipes. We'll see this again. It's a reminder, bringing people back to pipes. And then we're going to launch straight into elite, reminding them again, yes, we've seen pipes. This is how we do it, and this is what we do. Always coming back to pipes, creating that pipeline. These are the 5 simple steps to launch. Preparing. So I've just put a red square around this page on the presentation. That's just part of my icing. It's a very simple form of icing, but this is more of a reminder for me. That's what we're focusing on to get started. When we hit this slide, we're focusing on the live guide, because it's most important when starting to share doTERRA that we love and use the products. So it only makes sense to touch on live first. And anybody who hasn't had a wellness consult and wants to start sharing, make sure the first thing that you do with them is a wellness consult, because they're going to be doing this for others. They're only going to do what they've received. So we're enrolling people in LRP. We're going over the lifestyle overview, and we're going through the live guide, which I love, and just aligning people with the doTERRA wellness philosophy, products they can use to address their top 3 health priorities. This is a slide that I've actually added into the presentation, which covers, I just tell people how to do the 4 parts of the wellness consult and how we can refer to the back of that wellness consult sheet just on some of the simple solutions that can be implemented for their health concerns, establishing a daily routine, some other things they can integrate, and also showing them how the loyalty rewards program can work in their favor by the extra products they will need after they've gotten the most out of their kit of oils. And that's where I explain the loyalty rewards program. So the share guide, I absolutely love this guide. This is the soft launch or the soft build. It's so easily digestible. Even the commission that they touch on is all people need to begin. Really focus on getting people to understand the share guide when they're first starting out, especially if they're not able to digest and take on all the information that's in the launch and the other training guides. So this is the soft launch. So as we step through the share guide, once again, we've got some simple steps there: empowering others, earning rewards, creating an income, how to invite, share, invite, remind. We all know that we have to do this. If nobody turns up to our workshops, we probably haven't invited or reminded anybody. No surprises there. And then once again, giving people some ideas of how they can share anytime, anywhere. Carry a keychain on you. Love this structure for sharing your story. Use this as an activity. This is one of the activities that I love, and people, they get the opportunity to share that with one another when you break up into groups, and they can also share that with the group as well. So a very powerful activity that is included in this presentation. There it is. So as we go through this presentation, you can see all the prompts are here of how we are doing this activity, creating the story, sharing the story, and then we move on to hosting presentations and classes and one-on-ones. How to do that. I love this timeline down the bottom here. I love frameworks like this. So we've got a flow of the days, of what you need to do to make an event successful for people to actually come up and come along to your events and be open to what you have to present. So if people aren't getting results or people coming to the class, you can always refer back to the share guide straight away and say, okay, at day 1, day 3, day 8, day 10, did you do these things? Is there anything I can help to improve these, and work from there? What is your part as the person who wants to earn their oils for free? Remember, these are people that are just hosting to begin with. They don't know anything about the business. So some people will just be straight out of the blocks and have the ability to do this straight away. And then some people, they may not want to host their own classes, and you simply do the classes for them. So you have two opposite ends of what people want and are able to do. And it's just a matter of meeting people where they're at and having a clear understanding of where their part and your part in presenting, hosting, etc., the whole journey. So very simple, a fast start bonus, power of 3 bonus. That's all we're touching on when people are first starting out. One of the great reasons when you start talking about uni level and leadership performance pools and all that sort of stuff, and standing commission, dynamic compression, and all that sort of stuff, when people are first starting out, and that's all stuff they don't need to know. Not yet. Don't flood their brains with stuff that they need to know. I'm always reassuring people that you will know what you need to know at the time you need to know it. And I'm not saying to them, I'm not fobbing them off, but I'm just preventing the overwhelm. So just start with a fast start and the power of 3. This is where we earn most of our money when we are first starting out. Building your dreams. So once again, we're coming back to the build guide, and we're setting up our launch. So referring to the launch guide, and the building component of it is is this goal that we're writing down. There's a statistic, I think it's more than 50% of people who write down their goals actually are more likely to achieve it by just simply writing it down. So what's their 90-day goal? Do they want to be elite? How much do they want to earn? Sometimes I find that people don't put or can't or don't want to put a monetary value on what their goal is. They have an amount of lives they want to impact, the amount of good group of people that they would like to impact. That's fine. It doesn't have to be money. Get them to write down a rank, and it will marry up to the amount of money or impact that they want, that they need to achieve that goal over the 90 days and the 1 year. Realistic 90-day goal easily is elite, and then 1 year, we might be going silver or gold as realistic goals. So once again, we're getting people into what the essence of sharing doTERRA is, and being a solution provider, of asking that question, what would you like to get out of today? Who has some health concerns or health priorities that they'd like to share at your classes? Listening to them and tuning into what they want to hear and providing a solution using the expert, our reference book, and linking them up. We are connectors of solutions. And we use the natural solutions presentation to provide those solutions. This is the framework that we have as part of Empowered Success. And then we continue to work through those doorways of opportunity with the live, the share, and the build, or what people most like or most likely to journey through are live, build, share. So here's some tips. Be authentically you. And I think that's a very important point. It's good to take on what others that you're inspired by are doing, but still be you. It's hard work not being genuine. So be yourself. You can see here, these are the essential launching activities: invite, teach, follow up, launch and support. We have a great framework for tracking people's contacts and where they're up to through the live, share, build process. So are you sharing and inviting? Are you presenting? Are you enrolling? And there might be parts that you skip, so you can tick those boxes. But from those 30 names list for people that are open, we're writing their names on this list. We're writing a little bit of notes. There's not much space in here. There's enough just to write a couple. You can expand on this with a spreadsheet, of course. But we're really gauging or tracking where people are at, so you can continue to follow them up and meet them where they're at. And obviously scheduling like an absolute master with your electronic calendar, your physical diary. Don't feel like you have to do it electronically. There's people that still use a diary. I've got diamonds in my team who still use a physical diary, and they are some of the best schedulers I know. So don't feel that you need to do something that just because everybody else is doing. If you've got something that works, then stick with that. This is a great representation of how those pipes actually start to produce the flow once you duplicate the business. You're getting that pipeline flowing, get that expansion happening. So this is a breakdown of what you're doing during your launch, how many people you're inviting based on that scheduled success, how many classes you need to do. It's all here. There's a little bit of a deeper dive into that success tracker. Love it. Use it. Now, inviting. We all know this is a crucial part of what we do, and we need to do it effectively. The share guide. Once again, we're coming back to the share guide. It has the framework of what we need to do to invite effectively. Connecting with people, sharing a sample. One of the most effective ways before people come along to your class. So perhaps you want to share some samples with your host to give to the guests, or share directly with your guests before they come along to your class. There's some great scenarios and scripts here that are so applicable and so useful in the launch guide. I think scripts are some of the most effective things that you can teach people, because we know that language is everything in this business. We can approach inviting, presenting, with confidence, with clarity, and know the results that we're going to get with these thought out scripts, then things are going to work for us and for others that we're introducing how to share and build a business. This is a role play activity. Once again, do it. They're awesome. And we're inviting to change people's lives. These are some great scripts for different parts of presentations. So it could be a one-on-one, it could be a class, could be a lifestyle overview or a wellness consult, or you could be inviting somebody along to the business opportunity or a webinar. So great scripts there. So helping people say yes and working through some objections, because we all know that some people don't say yes straight away. Maybe it's later on, or maybe you can help provide perspective on what some of those objections are. So presenting, and we'll touch more on those objections later on. Presenting the message, how to actually do the presentation. So I'm not going to tell you how to do the presentation because the launch presentation does, and I highly recommend that you look at the scripts and the words that they use in this presentation. There's some scripts there on the close. There's actually an activity around this that you can step through with your class, and also reminding people that there's not one way to do the business. Not everybody is up to doing classes. People build their business one-on-one. People build their business on social media. Some people build their business, just doing webinars or a meeting in coffee shops. There's so many ways to do it. So just planting the seed, this is where you can do it. You don't have to wait until your home is renovated. You don't have to wait until the time is just right. These are the ways that you can do it now and do it effectively. So once again, we've got a couple of options there depending on the message that we're presenting. If you're meeting one-on-one or doing a class, you've got the natural solutions, you've got the business opportunity, and some guides for how long these presentations should take. Natural solutions, get the kit. It's the empowered, so the local empowerment kit that you get through your wholesale account, comes with the wild oranges, and we are enrolling people. That's the job of the Natural Solutions kit. It's enrolling our prospects, teaches us the basics, people the basics of essential oils, and provides some options to get started. Of course, we have the Nature Solutions kit, Home Essentials, Family Essentials, and even the oil sharing kit. So present all those options to people. Book classes from classes. This is a fantastic skill to have because we can continue to grow our network as we present to these classes. We don't want to just present a class and then that's it, it's all over. We want to share the opportunity or share the power of these essential oils from the people that are coming along to these classes, and reminding people that are coming to the classes they're actually supporting the hosts. So everything that they're purchasing today is actually going, the commissions are going to the person who's opening up the doors, putting on the nibbles, and allowing people into their family home. And you can do that too, and you can get the rewards as well. So booking classes from classes is a great skill to have. Once again, just touching on presenting the message, enrolling successfully, and going a little bit more into the close with these scripts. It's an activity. We're going to do the role play like I mentioned before, and also working, I think this is probably, for me, it's the funnest activity. For some people, it's very confronting because we're going to role play around people having some serious objections and being very rude and dismissive. But we have to get comfortable with that, or we have to learn how to deal with that. So this role play really does that. So supporting, we all know that this is essential as well in our journey and what we're doing in doing the follow-up, doing the lifestyle overview or the wellness consult, actually going through it. You can do a role play here. It's not one of the activities that are in the presentation, but this is some of the icing that I've added to our presentation and actually shown people how to do a wellness consult with the reference material of your choice, making sure that they're addressing their top 3 health priorities and establishing a routine or a schedule, getting the most out of their oils and their account through the Launch Rewards program. So we just step through the important parts of the lifestyle overview and the live guide, how to actually do that, and then inviting them to learn more. You know, maybe when you're going through the Launch Rewards program and you're touching on the different thresholds, 100 PV, you can earn a commission. That might encourage somebody to perk up and go, okay, yeah, I want to know more, or yeah, I want to share, or yeah, I want to build, and you can go into that a little bit further. So then placements strategy, just a couple, don't spend too long on the theory around placements. People are going to ask a lot of questions here. And I feel that doing a whiteboard session in placements and doing a couple of real life scenarios is very powerful when you're educating people about placement strategy, because there's 1,000,001 possible scenarios and situations, and people are going to ask you, and you'll probably find that there's other people in the same situation as well that it will apply to. So that's how I like to teach placements, but also educating people about the Power of 3 structure and how it teaches people how to structure correctly, teaching people about how the host of your class, how they get the fast start bonus and you get 10%, 5%, and how to enroll as wholesale customers to begin with, etc. This is obviously has a vast array of options and ways that people teach structuring, and it's entirely up to you of how you do it. But the launch guide really does provide some great framework on how you can teach this. It's up to you if you follow that or not. And you have these beautiful, perfect-looking structures. I often joke about this and say, look, this is framework. Don't get attached to it, because I find some people do get attached to having a perfect 3x3x3 structure because they see the diagrams. And this is where you can perhaps show them your organization and say, yeah, look, that's a guide. That's what we go for, but doesn't necessarily mean that that's what it's going to look like in real life. Teaching people about what the role of the enroller is and what the role of the sponsor is. And really finding those builders, I think, is a really important part about structuring, is qualifying people as builders. We all know, and we want to reduce the amount of frequency of this happening, is people saying they want to build, and then we make expectations and assumptions, and things change, obviously. So qualifying is probably one of the best skills that you can learn and teach people in launching them, and where they're starting to funnel their volume in their 3 legs or 2 legs to begin with, however you teach. Yes, it's a numbers game. Duplication, the 7th wonder of the world, dynamic compression. So find your builders. Where do you find them? Some tips there of where you can actually find your builders. And given that most of the people we come into contact with, 85% are going to be customers, they're probably in there. They're probably in there falling in love with the product and having life-changing experiences. So I truly believe we need to spend a lot of time in nurturing this relationship with our customers, teaching them how to duplicate this qualification, and using the framework that we have in the launch presentation and the empowered success, writing down their potential business partners. We've got a list of 9 names here for 3 positions, so increasing our likelihood. People in that $1 million real estate. What are you presenting when you're reaching out to these builders? The build guide, of course, live, build, share. And then what to do next with them. Invite them along to a launch day training. Perhaps it can be a one-on-one intensive. You don't have to do a launch day training straight out of the bat. You could do it one-on-one. And we're referring back to pipes, because this is where we always need to come back to. We're really drilling this home. We're really getting this sunk into the people that we're presenting to. Prepare, invite, present, enroll, support. Touching on pages 8 and 9, once again, always referring this. What would make the biggest impact in your life is the question we keep on needing to be asking these potential sharers and builders, and then aligning them with what they need to do, the amount of time, and really having some realistic goals around going from elite, silver and platinum, and duplicating what we're doing. Duplication is the key to what we're doing. I feel the launch day training really does provide the ingredients necessary to be able to duplicate our business. So if you haven't done a launch day training, I set the challenge for you to book your first launch day. Reach out to the people that are in your team or cross community and run a launch day training with them. I truly believe that you will experience some massive growth and solidity in your business in doing this. Thank you so much for your time. Hope you've enjoyed the presentation and look forward to seeing you soon. See ya.